Shalom. Call halal Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Waha, Rachakodash. Double honors to the apostles of the Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to you, Akim, pushing his word in truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. All right, this is Amathia from the Great Millstone in Dallas. I wanted to go into this article here. This is, as you see, the C to the N news. All right, and this came out on today, April 28th. And it reads, Trump took the U.S. economy to the brink of a crisis in just 100 days. As you can see, the thrill is gone in Babylon. In just 100 days, you have Trump, who has the spirit of Nero, is looking to what? Bring forth the burning of Babylon the Great, aka America. And we see how it is in just 100 days. And he has what? he have a little bit over 3.5 more years to keep going. All right. We're just at the fourth month. All right. He ain't even made it to half a year. So this is something that is going to be very interesting to see as we see prophecy. This is coming to be a change of the guard. We're going to see the economy that's going to have a abrupt change. And we're looking at the downfall except for America, but we know ultimately it's going to set up for what? That digital currency. And we know what that lead to the MOT to the B. And this is all the plan that's set up that Esau is setting up to do. All right. And we know that through the spirit, it is ultimately Yahweh Shai is working the minds of the kings to make this thing happen. I want to get into this article here and get right into it. It says, Donald Trump spent his first 100 days back in the Oval Office driving an economy that the world envied to the brink of crisis, risking America's reputation as a financial safe haven and fostering fear among voters who've lost confidence in his leadership. All right. And like I said, they lost confidence. You had these voters that voted him in looking for what? They're bringing forth a deliverance of what the Biden administration did. But you got to think, that was the Democratic side, and they was looking to say, save us, Joe. You remember Taraji P. Henson? All these black people, they crying, celebrating. Then they were like, damn, you screwed us up. You screwed over us. And now you say, okay, we had the right wing of this bird. They did us wrong, and let's look at this left wing of this bird. And now in just 100 days, y'all was like, you had that Northern Kingdom lady when Trump was just brought into office. She was excited. Trump for the Latinos. And what happened? He got deported. He started looking to deport your ass. Now he said he's gonna start searching for the homegrown. And also he's gonna look for what? This is looking like it's gonna become an inflation. Now you're seeing more of the jobs being lost. People pockets are starting to has started and is gonna continue to get affected. All right. And this is the other wing, left wing. And you niggas don't get it. You Israelites don't get it. It's still the same bird. Just each side of one wing is right, one wing is left, but it's still flying to the same direction. They're still planning to do what they've been planning all this time. And you niggas just falling for their damn trick bag. Never trust our enemy, as it says in Sirach 12. Ecclesiasticus is 12. It's iron rusted, so his you can wipe it away, but it's like it's not altogether wiped away. Okay? I want to jack it up, so I'm gonna get it real quick. All right, this is Sirach 12 and verse 10. You're right to it. It says, never trust thine enemy. And who is your enemy? The so-called white man. You can read you can read Genesis 25, all right? When it goes into Rebecca, it said two nations was fighting within the womb, and one was served the other. So she was having a battle in her womb, okay? When you read from Genesis 25 to verse 27, They both receive a blessing, due of the earth. Esau was going to receive his due of the earth, and then he was going to be brought down by what? The seed of Jacob. Who came out of that? Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus. All right. But y'all was looking for what? That financial safe haven from the man he just said, never trust thine enemy, which is your enemy is the so-called white man, Esau Edom. All right, I'm going to keep reading. It says, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. So his wickedness is going to continue to rust. It's not going to be altogether wiped away, as it says in the next verse. But I just wanted to read that. You can read on through it. But we're going to keep going on this article. All right, it says Americans were desperate for relief from high groceries and bought into Trump's promise to make America affordable again in November 2024, partly out of nostalgia for the pre-demic economy of his first term. So, like I said, that nostalgia. And that was his motto, is what? Make America great again. Go back to lower prices, okay? Go back to great wages on your job. But altogether, it was a facade just to get him back in office. And now you're seeing all these tariffs that's going to raise up, and it's going to raise up the prices. And you can see it could probably benefit in the long run, but in these times where things are, prices already has risen to be a hindrance upon your pocket and upon your household, it's not going to benefit you. It's going to cause what? A downfall. You're going to have less jobs. You're going to have all these things where it's not going to be affordable. All right? Okay? This man, and you thinking he was going to deliver you? No. This is Second Esdras. I'm going to get it here. 16. And I'm going to start at verse 18. Verse 18. It says, the beginning of sorrows and great mourning, okay? The beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plagues, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges and amendment. All right. So these things are sent as scourges. Verse 20. But for all these wicked things, they shall not turn away from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. So our people is not going to be mindful of the scourges that are coming about. All these things that are happening, and they're not looking for how can we get delivered. All right. They're looking for, let's get together and build our own community and grow our own crops and this and that. Just like one body, they want to get farms, you know what I'm saying? Or they want to get land. I see the same way. They're getting into that same thing. This is not our rest, as the scriptures say. The earth was given to the hands of the wicked. In order to receive rulership, have that kingdom mind, that king mindset, we have to get rid of them. We have to wait for the Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Until then, we have to keep pushing this word, okay? But until then, like you say, a scourge, like I said, what is that? It's like considered like a whip, used for, it's like an instrument to punish someone, okay? Think about that. That's a whip or instrument to punish someone. So when it says what? Get back to that. It says they're not always, nor be mindful of the scourges. They're not mindful of what's about to happen. They weren't mindful because they said America is going to be affordable again because Trump told us that in November. That nostalgia feeling. We're going to get back to the 90s, the way it was in the 90s. We're going to get back. That's Jake, But then you have Esau. They was thinking, we're going to, because it's even affecting these low Edomites as well. They was thinking, hey, we can probably get back to the 50s and 60s. But altogether, that nostalgia was a facade. He set that facade up for y'all to think that, and now look what's happening just in 100 days. This is 2 Esdras 16, verse 21. Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth that they shall think themselves to be in a good case. Now, what we just read here, it says America was desperate for relief from high grocery prices and bought into Trump's promise to make America affordable again in November 2024. They thought they was going to be in good case. You niggas did too. You Spicks did too. You Black, Latinos, and most likely some of you Native Americans thought you was gonna be in good case. You took a whiff of that nostalgia as well. But what happened? Let's get back to 2nd Esdras verse 16. 2nd Esdras 16 verse 21. Because you thought you was in this nostalgia thinking you were gonna be in good case when Trump was back in office. What it says here, and even then, okay. And even then shall evils grow upon the earth. There's no way stopping it. Sword, famine, and great confusion. All right. Sword, famine, and great confusion. You thought you was in good case, but evils are not going to stop growing. All right. Because these days that we're in, as it says in second, and I said in a lot of my lessons, even on the highways and byways, Ephesians 5 and 15. Today's are evil. It's bad times. The bad times are not going to get better. Okay. The thrill is gone here in Babylon. Okay. I'm going to keep reading here. It says, but the president deliberately, single-handedly adopted policies that are almost certain to spike prices even more, that could lead to shortages, and that the CEOs and small businesses dealing with chaos and the possibility of a recession. Trump is attempting the most fundamental overhaul of the U.S. and global economies in generations, adamant that he can recreate a mythical late 19th century golden age using beautiful tariffs to exert U.S. economic might to crash trade rivals. And you think that's going to work for you? You think that's going to work for you? No. Because like I say, you think you're in good case. But evil is constantly growing. You think visuals was going to be cheap. But this is what it says we read earlier. It's going to be beginning of sorrows. Okay? You're going to have people that's going to be out to get one another, fighting. All this going to come to a close. All right? I'm going to get this here. This is 2nd Esdras 15 and verse 16. Because what did you just read? It said it's trying to create the golden age. And when you go through these tariffs, it's going to lead to more people that's going to be going through these growing pains with lack of bread and what have you. Okay? Matter of fact, I want to jump down. I'll just read through it real quick. It says, but a president who has played golf while workers' 401ks tank has often looked indifferent in the growing concerns of Americans, from business titans to ordinary shoppers who are seeing the impact of the policies in real time over the first 100 days in office, which he will mark on Tuesday. Trillions of dollars have been wiped out of off stock markets. Airlines are cutting flights. Top firms are trashing their own annual forecast. Some retailers have given up selling China-made goods in the U.S. because of the tariffs. The International Monetary Fund cut U.S. growth forecast. The Federal Reserve says some businesses have stopped hiring. The CEO of Walmart told Trump his policies will seize up the supply chain by summer. Summer's right around the corner. We're basically in May. After these next 2 days, we're in May. School will be getting out. Kids gonna have to be at home. You're gonna have to have now parents, instead of having the school feed your kids, now they got to get more groceries, but the groceries are going up. Then it's gonna be a little more lack of food because what? Because of tariffs. They can't get as much food. Then also prices gonna go up. Because what? You don't have as much goods in the stores as you usually have, or the stores these they gotta charge more. The supplier's gonna charge more, okay, for these different companies and these different businesses to get their food, and now they gotta raise the prices up on the consumers. Now, like you said, but then you have jobs being cut. This is gonna be, like they say, hell on earth. It's gonna be hell on a lot of households, and what this gonna lead to, I'm gonna get it right here. Because when people gotta eat and they want to feed their families, sometimes they get to a point where they're gonna stop at nothing to get it. This is 2 Ezra 15 and 16. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their king nor princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power. They're not going to regard it. When you're trying to get in and get your family fed, you have a 3 or 4-year-old baby, or like say your 10, 11-year-old is now at home, sitting at home, can't eat. Now this drastic change is going to call for drastic measures. Now you can have somebody say, well, let me get out here and knock somebody in the head and bring something home. You can have, and it's gonna get to a point where people that's coming out of the grocery store, you can have people waiting to take their goods. This is what's about to happen. Verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. All right. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. Okay. So that all that love is finna go out the door. Okay. It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword. All right, you can have people kicking in the door with your guns, because what's the modern day sword? A gun. And spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So that lack of bread and great tribulation. This is what's coming to America. Okay, the thrill is gone in Babylon the Great. Okay, the thrill is gone. All right, and I'm kind of hold. I know for time's sake, I want to get something else, and we're gonna close out. This is Isaiah 24. Okay, and I'll start at verse 11. Matter of fact, I think I want to read up here. Verse 8. Okay, I'm gonna read on through. It says, the mirth of the temperance ceaseth, the noise of them that rejoice endeth, the joy of the harp ceaseth. All right, and this is because of what? Because of mourning, because of lack of bread. The mirth of this place is almost out the door. Verse 9, they shall not drink wine with a song. Strong drink shall be bitter to them that drink it. The city of confusion is broken down. And what city of confusion here? Babylon the Great. Okay. This is one big melting pot of confusion. Confusion causes chaos. And now he's going to look for what? You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about Esau, Edom, the so-called white men, the rulers of this world. Okay. They're going to bring forth that order out chaos. Order out chaos. This is what's about to happen. The city of confusion, this is verse 10 in Isaiah 24 and 10. The city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up, that no man may come in. There is a crying for wine in the streets, and joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone. Okay, the mirth of this land is gone. All right. And that's and this is the start of it. When you go into Nero, how he burnt down the city, and who he's gonna blame it on? All this this collapse that we're seeing before our eyes is gonna be blamed on you Israelites, you Black, Latinos, Native Americans. All right. It says, verse 12, and the city is left desolation, and the gate is smitten with destruction, When thus it shall be in the midst of the land amongst the people, there shall be as the shaking of an olive tree, and as the gleaning grapes when the vintage is gone. All right. So what the thrill is gone here in Babylon. Okay. Everything is going to be taken down. Okay. So with that, I'd like to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Wahakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, great millstone. Peace and blessings to Yahakim, pushing his word in truth and sincerity. Shalom.